seen amazing outcomes. And they're all like different at time. I mean, it depends on, each student has their, individual journey. So, there's a student that may have dropped out of school at in the ninth grade and has a child, hasn't had a stable employment, then comes to the program, gets their GED, and then decides to go to college and continue on. That's one way to you know reach your goal, or we see as success. But again, I'll never forget. There's a young man that came to the program, and he had some challenges here. He had some challenges here, and we had to kick him out the program. We had to let him go. Uh, he had an incident with another student, so we decided that he couldn't, he could no longer be here. Uh, Fast forward to the next cohort, and he called us up. He said, "Hey, give me one more chance, please." And like, okay, he sounds sincere. He sounds sincere, and we gave him another chance to enroll in the program. He finished. He took his GED, and he didn't pass. He didn't pass. We were disappointed. We have a thing here where, like, if anyone ever passes GED, like, yeah, we have a whole whole thing. We'll call the guys up and, hey, you passed, man. But there's some guys that don't pass on the first try. So that's still, we still have to encourage them to continue on. You passed something. You got up and you took the test. You went through the program. You finished with us. Um, and that's what we did, for him. Now, some time had passed, and he was one guy on the list, that was like, dang, he never got it, man. You know what? We feel, and we, always, upset whenever, our guys don't achieve what they came here for. But I think we lost contact for a while. Then still had his information, so I reached out to him during the pandemic. We had some time to kind of re-engage some of our alumni and just, hey, are you okay? How's the family? And I got a hold of him, and I said, how you doing, man? He's like, I'm doing great. He drives trucks cross country. Um, he said he had two houses. I said, man, you got two houses? Shoot, I don't have one. That's amazing. He has two houses and is able to take care of his daughter. And I know the time he was here, he had some challenges with his family, as his father he had a strange relationship. And he said, man, during the pandemic, I was able to stack money enough to buy my own truck. I'm like, buy your own truck? That's amazing. And I hired my dad. My dad works for me. I was like, what? So I said, man, wow, I'm so happy to hear that, man, because I'm sorry. I feel bad. Like, I always felt like you didn't get what, you needed out of, the program. And he said, man, I got everything I needed. And he pointed to, like, giving him a second chance, which I thought was like, wow, I was like, wow, that's, yeah, you gave me a second chance, and I was able to. He had some, anger stuff going on, but he said, he thinks about that, and he said he communicates differently, um, since then, and I was like, wow, so that, it may not, he's a success, he's achieved. He's in a better place, than he was when he came. here, I guess, right? So it's hard to like quantify it on a, a spreadsheet, but it's like, wow, this is beyond, I don't think he didn't like he wasn't looking for that when he came here. This is just something that he's able to, take care of his family and like, from his daughter to his dad and, live in multiple locations and stuff. That's that's he's living the dream, So, him expressing that really meant a lot. And sometimes as a staff we want this. We're like, oh yeah, we want you to go and follow this route, but that may not have been, his for him. He followed this route, and he's driving his way through the route. He's in a truck, doing his thing, and that's amazing. And there's another gentleman that just recently I saw, and his two oldest kids are in college, and this was early on. These guys were in our program early on. We were trying to figure out what to do, and they came to the program with their GED already, or their high school diploma, and they were in our college and career prep component, where we were just trying to, okay, what's next? You got your high school, now what's next? And he ended up getting his associate's degree here at LaGuardia. I've been on him forever to get his bachelor's, and he'll get that one day. But I think what he said, man, I took my son I dropped him off at college. I'm like, what? Like, this is crazy. This is from 2012 on. I remember, I have the privilege of, being here for some time, so I can see, the children grow, and, and he took his son to college, and I'm about to take my other one to college, and I'm like, and the other one's a senior, and, so, and he got married, as well. So it's just seeing, I mean, that's a success. That's beautiful. And it's generational, it's something that he, this, this college, something he passed on, and he shared the importance of that, journey, with his kids. And now they're taking that trip to, college. And, that's, that's pretty amazing. And I don't, you don't often see that, you work in a program, you don't often see like those later year results, that you don't even think of when you like first start. Like a student, doesn't often come here and they're like, I could see 10 years down the road, they're like, man, I just want to pass my GED. And I've known these two guys, and I'm like, I remember when they first got here, like, and you know, what they wanted for themselves in that moment, and then to see where they are now, and where their children, their families are. It's just amazing. It's just really amazing to see. And then there are like a lot of stories like that, because we're very fortunate to, when someone comes to our program, they're pretty. It's kind of like a fraternity. You're kind of in it, for life, type of thing. And they often report back and let us know that, I'm okay. I'm doing all right. And it's really beautiful to witness. So.